Hello and welcome to another episode of the Get Out of Gaming podcast. I am one of your hosts, Ben,
I'm Alex.
and we are your nerdly break from the work week.
You say nerdly?
I said nerdly.
Heidi ho,
Well, as you
neighborina.
can see, purely conversational podcast where we say new words like nerdly.
Yeah.
Uh, on a side note, my wife was an English teacher before becoming a vice principal. Thank God she's not here to hear any of this starting. But we're a bi-weekly podcast. We talk about everything that's like in the nerdy realm. So we talk about movies, video games, anime,
hmm
just kind of stuff we want to talk about. And today, because the new Spider-Man trailer dropped, we're gonna be ranking Spider-Man movies. Now,
Yeah.
we did have some rules with this. They couldn't be movies that Spider-Man had cameos in. So the two Miles movies couldn't do those. We didn't do any animated live action. And even though he doesn't make cameos, the Venom movies are not included.
hmm
And ones like Civil War, Endgame, those are not included.
Yep.
So, yeah, uh, I think this should be pretty interesting. As you can, people that are watching, you can see we have S, A, B, C, and D. I did not put F. I know what everyone is thinking right now. One of these should be an F, but we'll just have to see. I didn't put F. I mean, I don't know. Do you think we need to add F or no?
I don't think so. Honestly, I
Okay.
don't even think we need a D.
Really?
I don't think so.
This is interesting. We haven't done one of these for a while. Alex and I thought, hey, we should do one.
Yeah.
Um, I think the next ranking would be rank our list for the top 5 Transformers. Go.
Depends, live action or not. Because if not, then the Transformers of the movie, you got the touch, you got the power, is number one. Um, Otherwise,
Yeah,
maybe the first Transformers live action. Those are the top two.
I think we did do a ranking of those.
We did. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that's an old one cuz yeah, I watched all of them cuz I even watched like the recent one in quotes. Cuz yeah, I got to rewatch Mark Wahlberg. Yeah. And
I
Frasier.
I
Frasier
like
was the villain.
I liked that one. The
Yeah.
second one, the last night, I did not like.
Oh, Last Night's
Um,
horrible. Stanley Tucci is Merlin.
yeah, it's so bad. It's like let's throw him in there just to throw him in there. Um, even Cooper has upset my dog. Um, but there's no Transformers in this one.
Yeah.
So let's start off with Spider-Man, the one with Tobey Maguire.
Uh-huh.
I put the dates on there; they're not showing up on my end, but I think this was early 2002.
2002 because there's a promo image with the Twin Towers that got removed because of September
Oh
11th.
yeah, yeah. So this was Sam Raimi,
Mhm.
um, and Tobey Maguire's first. I think this kind of like really kicked off the superhero movies. Really, um, we had some in the past that didn't always do so well. Um, I mean,
When was
what do
X-Men
you think
though?
about? Well, there's X Men. Some of those got really crazy. Um,
Yeah, X-Men was 2000. So yeah, I feel like maybe X-Men was kind of the top, but like yeah, definitely these two for sure.
so what did you think of Tobey Maguire as Spider Man?
Um I missed the part where that's my problem. Um I oh man, this movie's good. This movie's really good. Um I feel the obvious the thing that people used to always say, I still kind of agree to the most part. But Toby's a very good Peter Parker. He's a
Yeah,
very good nerdy guy. And I feel like he played now I'm a little more lax on his Spider-Man. I feel like he plays a good Spider-Man because he's just a nerd trying to do quips. So like
yeah,
that's why he is kind of awkward with it. Um And so yeah, I really do enjoy this Spider-Man. Um I enjoy this film a lot. You know, this also has Willem Dafoe. It has uh man, what's his name? James Franco, Kirsten Dunst. Like there's a lot of people in here, you know. This movie started it all. But
You forgot two more important people: Bruce Campbell and
yeah,
Macho Man Randy Savage.
got you for 3 minutes of playtime.
I think that was his. I think that was right before he passed away. Pretty close.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
Um,
man, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, the human spider. He got my name wrong. There's so many good things about that movie. There's so many like quotable things in that film. Same thing with Spider-Man 2, you know. You got like
yeah,
Butterfingers. Um but yeah, I love this movie. This movie is this movie is a very good origin story. And you don't really see good origin stories in film. For superheroes a whole lot. Like even like Iron Man I feel like is good. Thor isn't super great, but like I feel like this is a very contained movie that it's kind of like Christopher Reeve's Superman. Christopher Reeve's Superman,
yeah.
the first one, is very much apples and oranges, but Christopher Reeve Superman's better. But like the beginning of it is very much like, hey, here is your origin. Here
Yeah,
is young Clark Kent going and like becoming, finding out who he is, getting his powers, doing all of this, and then the other half of the movie is, oh, here is Superman. Whereas this kind of has that as well. Like there is a chunk of this movie where it is high school Peter Parker doing high school things, and then eventually just, you know, becoming more adults, becoming more of an actual superhero near like a halfway point, I would say. So it has a lot of parallels to that just on how the storytelling goes. Um, but yeah, I I think I'm confidently gonna say this is probably my favorite live action Spider-Man, like the actor.
yeah. I agree with you. I think it really, I think it really set the um the bar
Hmm.
for what a good superhero movie is going to be. And William Defoe, can we just say underrated? Um, the first time I really watched him was in Boondock Saints,
Yeah,
and he was crazy in that. Um, but like this here was like him talking to himself and in two different uh visible characters. Uh so
with
obviously
his
him,
teeth. You know about
oh
that?
yeah.
Like where like he has weird teeth like in real life, but then then what they did was they gave him like fake like nice teeth whenever he is Norman Osborn. So like whenever he's not like evil, like he has real teeth or has like the fake nice teeth. But then when he is Green Goblin, they switch it and they take those teeth out, and then you just see like his more like jagged, messed
I
up
did not
real
know
teeth.
that.
Yeah.
But did you know when Spider-Man is checking in to the wrestling, do you know who that lady is that's checking him in? That's Octavia Spencer.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
When I rewatched some of this the other day, and I was like, "Holy crap, that's her!"
Yeah.
Academy Award winning. Like this was one of her early roles,
Yeah.
and she's only in it for like what, like 2 seconds.
Yeah, probably.
Um, so yeah, I think this was great. I used to own this on DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Um, we watched the kids watched this. The only part that turned it, I had to turn it off is the stuff with Norman and the Goblin kind of spooked him a little,
Yeah.
which is hilarious because when I watched the last Spider-Man movie, they were okay with it, but I feel like this goes definitely a creepier.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Sam Raimi,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's horror.
it yeah, it has that horror aspect there. Um, The only thing I didn't really like in this one, and I'm gonna say it, and people are gonna hate me, I didn't really care for like Kristen Dunst's version of this of Mary Jane Watson. Um,
Yeah, that might be more of a fall just on who MJ was at this time, maybe, or just like how people the zeitgeist thinks of MJ. So there just wasn't
yeah,
really much for her to do. They're like, who is she? Popular kid, um, actress, cool. That's all she is. Um, and so like, yeah, she really is just a trophy, and for him to obtain. I wouldn't even say really a
yeah,
love interest. I feel like she's really just a trophy in this one. Love interest can maybe be more in the future, but um, yeah, there just isn't really much to her character, unfortunately. I think it changes. I think it changes in like Spider-Man 2 and 3, definitely. I think she does get more developed there. But yeah, in this one, she's very much just, I'm a girl next door. Hey, I know you have a crush on me. That's a, you know.
yeah. I think you're right there. Um, you know, that's exactly my thoughts on it. Um, I just she kind of now. I'm not saying that Kristen Dunst is a horrible actress. If you've ever watched the Fargo show, the season she's in, fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, but we're not talking about Fargo. We're talking about Spider Man. Where would you rank this? I kind of have an idea. I want to say you're going to put this in the S rank. I mean, that's
So,
I think, or is this an A ranked film?
see, I don't know because what's going to be an S rank? You know, that's the thing. What's going to be an S rank in these? And
I have my pick for S rank, and in my
um,
mind, there is one that is S rank,
man, I feel
maybe two.
like one, yeah, yeah, probably. Looking at this list right now, I don't think we're gonna get to D at all. Um,
I agree.
like now that I'm really thinking about it, um, but we're talking about just Spider-Man 1. I think this is an S. I think this is an S movie. Um, I think there are a lot of flaws to it, but for like what it does and like how it sticks the landing with everything, um, the man, there's so many good parts of this movie. Like I love spoilers for an old movie, but I love the glider scene like at the end where um uh Norman like activates the glider and he's like haha, and then Peter like has his spider sense, flips over, the glider comes flying over to Norman and he just does a oh and it just gets impaled.
Well,
um
and then when it hits him, he goes, "Don't tell Harry,"
yeah, don't tell Harry. Yeah, he's
and it
very
does.
much like he turned back into Norman at his death.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll give it to you, S rank. Um, Now looking at the ones that are left, I do have one I feel is S rank.
Yeah.
But I'll give you that one. So, moving on to Spider-Man 2. So this one um has Doc Ock. Um, I really did like this one. So Spider-Man is already, no backstory. We know who he is here, and he's been doing his Spider-Man thing. And so by this point, he's good to go. And so, but what happens in this one is he starts losing his powers. Um,
Yeah.
he can't, he has to put his glasses back on, and it's all mental for him. You
What's
know,
the meme? What's the old meme? I can't shot web or whatever. You remember that?
yes,
I can't shot web. Like I think that's what
y-
it is.
yeah. Um, and I do want to state this is another Sam Raimi film.
Yeah.
Um, I liked it. I think this one has more action than
Yeah.
the other ones. Then the first one, it's because the first one set up the story, the
Mm-hmm.
plot, who is Spider-Man, how he becomes Spider-Man. This one is more of, hey, Spider-Man's there.
Mm-hmm.
Has a lot more of James Franco's character in it as
Mm-hmm.
well, where he's just trying to like build the company up and he wants Spider-Man to come with him. Um, Over enthusiastic,
Yeah.
you know. MJ is on stage and she's doing a bunch of crazy stuff,
Yeah.
um, which they did initially try to set it up, um, with Jay Jameson's son going into space and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um, the symbiote stuff and all that. Um, but I do like this one. I think this one's really good because if I'm, and I could be wrong, I can't remember which one it was. This is the one where Aunt May finds out that Peter's Spider Man, I think, and she's very upset about it because he mentioned about Uncle Ben, and you know, if I remember correctly, because I think that's this one, because this is right before she moves.
I don't remember. Um, does she ever find out?
I think, like in more words, like
I
I
thought she
think
didn't find out in this.
because I know when she's moving out of the house, they have their talk or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and the kid that's helping her is like, "Hey, you take pictures of Spider Man. Is he ever coming back?" And he goes, "I don't know."
Mm-hmm.
And she has that talk with like that kid wants to grow up to be Spider Man. I think she kind of knows.
Okay. Yeah. I
Like
I don't remember at this point. It's been a
it's
while.
not as it's not as good as like the other Spider Mans when that Aunt May finds out.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. Uh with Marissa Tomei, but we'll get there. But I do like this one. Obviously, more Bruce Campbell, uh, different role. But I think this one is definitely more of like he starts going back to old Peter. I think it's he kind of likes going back to old Peter in certain
Mm-hmm.
ways until danger happens and he's like, crap, what do I do? Um, I mean, what are your thoughts on that one?
Um, I used to really like this movie. I used to think that this movie was better. Also, I just looked it up. Apparently, she doesn't explicitly find out, but she says something
Okay.
that alludes to it. Um, I used to really like this movie. I really like what's his name? Alfred Molina, Tevia
Yeah.
himself, as Dr. Octavius. I think he does a really, really good job in acting. He does a very good job in acting with himself because he has to dialogue and monologue like with himself because he has the other things around him talking to him. Um, but yeah, I used to really like this movie. Recently, I watched Spider-Man 2.1, and that kind of soured my enjoyment of this film, because 2.1 is like the extended edition essentially,
Okay.
and it adds like extra scenes or extra alternate takes of things like Spider-Man like in the elevator or whatever, like there's a different take of that. There's the scene which I do think is funny, but there's the scene where Jameson is dressed up in Spider-Man's costume on his desk and like posing and stuff. Like that's not in the real
Oh, I
movie,
remember seeing that.
but it's in the 2.1 and just the deleted scenes. So like they really just add deleted scenes to the movie. Kind of like how Harry Potter does that stuff where it's just like if you watch Harry Potter on TV like TNT or like some sort of cable, they tend to like put in the deleted scenes just into the movie for some reason.
Yes.
Um, but anyway, long-winded answer. I enjoy this movie. I used to enjoy it a lot more. I think it is a step down from the first movie, just a tad. I think the horror elements are pretty good in this, but I think um Willem Dafoe really defined, like, was a very good villain.
Hmm.
Um and like we kind of just had the same villain twice, like, because like Willem Dafoe, he has the Green Goblin serum and all that happen to him, and then he becomes split personality. But then so like there's two different people talking, whereas with Alfred Molina, like there's him talking to the hands and stuff, and they're both supposed to be tragic villains, I would say. um but the Willem Dafoe part is just done much better. um
Yes.
like, I don't like, there's a lot of quotable things, power of the sun and palm my hand. There's just weird things that he seems to do um in that film, especially like near the end, where he just decides to just take the sun with him and just die. Like, yeah, he's all of a sudden back to normal, but I don't know, there's better ways of fixing your issues. um yeah, it I would say this is probably, I don't think this deserves to be an S. Maybe back in my youth, I would say that this would be an S. Um, I would say it's A. I don't know where in the A's just yet, but I mean, we only have one A so far. But I
Yeah.
I think it needs to be an A at least.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. When I was younger, I would have said this is my favorite one.
Yeah.
Um, Now, seeing all the ones we have here today, I think at some point it's going to get harder
Yeah.
to kind of move stuff around. Um, because there's some really, I think once you get into the Andrew Garfield and the Tom Hollands, there's some really, really good ones. But we're not talking about that. We're going to talk about Spider Man 3, the cringy emo dancing scene, and Topher Grace as Venom, which makes no sense to me.
Dear God,
Um,
please kill Peter Parker.
uh, I, I, I saw this in theaters, and here's where it comes to a twist. So the bad guys are Goblin, who's Harry now,
Yeah,
is Goblin,
New
or is he
Goblin, I think is
Hobgoblin?
what he's
I
called.
think he's Hobgoblin, or yeah.
Nah, he's not Hob.
Okay, so he's just like the new Goblin.
Yeah, I think.
And then you've got Sandman,
Yep.
and then you've got at the very end you have Venom.
Yeah.
Um, but Peter wakes up one morning, has the new black suit. It starts making him very emo, I guess,
Uh huh.
and his hair gets cut different, and he now can dance. Um, this one wasn't my favorite. I
No.
think it's good for what it does. Um, it, believe it or not, when he starts getting like really angry, it gives me Anakin Skywalker vibes of like, you know,
I'll pay your
like
rent when you fix the damn door. Like,
yeah,
there's just so much stuff where he just gets very angry. Like, it
or
just overall, yeah.
when him and Harry are fighting and he throws the goblin ball and then he whips it back at him
Mm-hmm.
and it gets him in the face. That's not very Spider-Man-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I do like this one for what it is. It ends the story, which by the way, this one was not Sam Raimi, if I remember correctly.
No, all three of these are.
Was it? Okay. I
I'm
know there
pretty
was
sure.
some issues. I think there was some issues because I don't think this is the direction he wanted to take or something. I remember there being a lot of issues with um, how this one was supposed to go.
Yeah.
Um, I, I like it for what it is. I don't think it's definitely not A or a B. I still think it's a C. Besides just cringy moments, it's still not awful. Um, the part that like the one part that disappoints me the most is the Venom stuff. Um,
Mm-hmm.
which I wouldn't even call it Venom, would you? I don't think it's Venom. I just think it's the symbiote suit on somebody else. Because that's Eddie Brock, right? In the movie?
Yeah. Yeah, it
That's
is
who.
Eddie.
So I don't know. And we're not going to talk about the new Venoms, but I do think that the
I still
character
haven't seen those.
from they're so good. I like the first one. Second one's kind of cringy,
Yeah.
but the third one was pretty decent. Um, but
What,
I just don't picture that character as being Venom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Um yeah, Topher Grace definitely isn't an Eddie Brock. Eddie
Mm-mm.
Brock tends to be a little more muscular, I would say, a little more cool. Um but yeah, I would say, which is weird, right? I would feel that Venom is the weakest part of this film, but I also feel like the black suit Spider-Man stuff is done very well. Um
Yes.
like yes, it's corny and cheesy with him doing the dance and becoming emo, but like you see the progression of him getting angrier and angrier, more in line with the symbiote, and then the bell tower, it's screeching and all of that. Um so all that's great. I think Sandman is well done in this film. Um like way more than he should be. And the Goblin Harry stuff is interesting, with him having amnesia and like forgetting that forgetting that Peter Spider-Man, forgetting that he broke up, that him and MJ aren't together. Like he still thinks that they are together. And they kind of just
Oh
play with
yeah.
it, and they're just like, yeah, we're together. Like they don't want to trick him, and it's like, dude, like he was gonna propose. Um but yeah, I don't think this movie is a C.
Are you thinking it's a B?
I think it's a B. There's a C in here. There's a C somewhere. But
I I'll give you that. I mean,
I
I,
think
I feel like
2/3 of this movie is good.
yes, I do feel like the how the black suit attracted to him made me feel like the '90s Spider-Man,
Yeah.
like how that happened.
Yeah.
Um, so I'll give you that. Um, you know, and it's so we'll put it at the high B for now,
Uh-huh.
but we'll have to wait and see. Um, so let's move on to the Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield. Um, I did like this one a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like he is obviously quite a different Spider-Man,
He's an
saying
ultimate
things.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. You know, I like uh the guy that plays the lizard, I love as an actor.
Uh-huh.
Um, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
And so I think that just kind of like went well with like the story and stuff. And of course they had to redo the whole story of how he got bit, Uncle Ben died.
Mm.
Um, his Aunt May is played by Sally Fields,
Yeah.
which how crazy is that? Sally Fields is in a superhero film.
Yeah. And um what's his name? Mark Martin Sheen?
Yes,
Isn't that Uncle Ben?
yeah. So
Yeah.
Martin Sheen. Um, I mean, you have some powerhouse actors in
Yeah.
this film, um, and it's so funny. Like, how did they approach them of going, "Hey, we're doing a new Spider-Man film called The Amazing Spider-Man. We would love for you to be in it."
Yeah.
I mean, that's crazy. But I do feel like it. My only problem with this is we already know the story of how Uncle Ben got where he was, um, and how Peter became Spider Man, but they kind of redo it in a different way. Um, and of course,
Yeah.
you know, I think that was the only thing that kind of annoyed me. Of like, okay, we get the story right, we know what happened. Do a quick little thing at the beginning and let's move on from it. But overall, much different Spider Man, different looking suit. Um, you know, I feel like this one here had a lot more acting in it. Obviously, better CG,
Hmm.
being newer. Um, if personally, I think this is a B. I don't think this is an A. I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this. I'm looking at you now, thinking, "Hey, what is Alex going to say?"
Yeah.
I don't. I think it's good. Now, if my oldest son was here, he would probably be yelling and screaming at me. Uh, the two Amazing Spider-Mans are his favorite Spider-Mans
Yeah.
besides the new stuff. Um, but I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Andrew Garfield's very, very good. Um, um, Emma Stone's very, very good. As what's her face? Gwen Stacy. Um, I enjoy the idea of this film a lot, being a lizard film, because the lizard is, I want to say, is the first villain that Spider-Man ever fights. Like, I think he's in like one of the first Spider-Man comics, if I remember correctly. I was reading those in order not too long ago, like a year or so ago, because I had the Marvel Unlimited. That's a really good fun app, actually. Shout out to them. I don't subscribe anymore because I don't have time to read comics, but it's really, really cool how you can just read all the Spider-Man comics in order on your iPad, and it's like HD and it looks awesome. Um, but yeah, I enjoy a lot of things about this film. I enjoy a lot of the risks that it takes. It tries to do, like I said, it's more Ultimate Spider-Man. It's trying to be a little more young and cool and all of that, and it's also doing, maybe it would have done more ultimate things in the future, but like, and I don't remember if this is an ultimate thing or not, or amazing thing, but uh Peter's parents are more involved in this film,
Yeah,
because they don't say they're shield agents, but they are shield agents in like every time that they're like talked about in these kind of things. And I want to say Spider-Man stuff was created, I think they did it in this movie too, but like a lot of that was done like with his father and Connors and some other people. Um and whereas like in Ultimate, I believe that the Venom symbiote stuff was created by his father, or like a combination between him and someone else. But so it does a lot of interesting twists and turns to that. I do agree with the Uncle Ben stuff. The Uncle Ben death in this isn't really super great, because if I remember correctly, this is the one where he just tries to stop a like a mugger, and it's like, dude, what are you doing? This guy has a gun. Just
yeah,
let the woman get her purse stolen. Like, you're an old man with nothing. Like, you're just asking for trouble, unfortunately. Good Samaritan or not, like, that's just stupid. um Whereas like in the other ones where like, oh, he gets his car jacked, like he gets a carjacking, and so that's why he's shot, which makes a little more sense. It's not his fault that he died, whereas in this it is his fault that he died. um so it's a little more on Ben than on Peter. But honestly, um, yeah, I like a lot of the Osborn stuff in this without having Osborn yet. Just all the, all the science, and seeing like the actual inside of the labs and all of that, I think look really, really cool. The part where he walks in and there's just spider webs, and then all the music just plays like a swarm of bees or something. Like, the music just like, the violin like goes like crazy, because there's all these little spiders all around him, and he's just like trying to grab them and just pull them all off. But then one still is like with him, and then he takes it with him, and it eventually bites him, like once he's at home, or I don't remember where. But yeah, there's a lot of good things about this film. I I think this film is a B. I think this film is above Spider-Man 3.
yeah. I totally agree with you. I think, and my reason, I think everything you said was great. As we build up, I think this is the good part of like these Spider-Man films. th- With new Spider-Mans, they keep getting better and better. Um, so I agree. So we'll put that above Spider-Man 3.
Uh-huh.
or in front of Spider-Man 3 for a B, correct?
Correct.
All right, so let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man
Jamie
2.
Foxx. Time to
Yeah,
catch a spider.
I feel like if I remember correctly, this
Nor
had lots of so it
Harry
had
Osborn.
him, yeah, it had Harry Osborn and
Rhino.
Rhino very
Beginning and
that's
ending.
yeah, beginning and ending, which is so funny they made a big deal about Paul Giamatti playing the Rhino. And I'm
Mhm.
like, dude, you had a thing at the beginning and one at the end. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like this one is super sad though.
Mhm.
Um, so obviously Peter is doing great. He's Spider-Man, he's trying to live his life. Um, he gets closer, he's closer with Gwen. Um, you know, but the problem is when you're a superhero and you are dating somebody, the villains all find out.
Mhm.
Um, and it's unfortunate, but that's just life. That's why Batman doesn't have a girlfriend. Wow, his girlfriend's also Catwoman. Um,
Or Talia.
yeah, or Talia. But like I think like this one is kind of like he's dealing with a lot. He's Spider-Man and stuff. And obviously Jamie Foxx becomes, Electro by falling in a pit of electric eels.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't like this one as much. Um,
Did you feel like Jamie Foxx thought that he was in a Ninja Turtles movie? Because he was acting like a Baxter Stockman.
oh yeah, yeah. I got that feeling of him being like, exactly like Baxter Stockman, and the reason why. So I do feel that. Like I said, this one's not my favorite. It's okay. Um, I don't know where to put. Here's my concern with this one is obviously there's dramatic spoilers of
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy dying,
Yeah.
right? And that really shifts a lot of the story with him of like disappearing, and we
Yeah.
all love the scene at the very end where he shows up to fight Rhino and that little kid comes out in the Spider-Man costume.
Yeah.
But like there's just so much stuff that kind of happens, and then Jamie Foxx was kind of weird in it. I
Mhm.
love me some Jamie Foxx. You want to watch good Jamie Foxx? Watch Ray. Excellent movie.
Yes. Amazing movie.
Amazing. He sounds like Ray Charles.
Mhm.
And that day shift one, where
Mhm.
it talks about him being like a vampire killer,
Yeah.
even better. Um, this was weird to me. I want to hear your thoughts on it, but I know where I want to put this one, and I'm wondering if we're on the same level. What are your thoughts on this one?
Movie has a lot of problems, but at certain times when Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone are on the screen, you kind of forget you're watching a Spider-Man movie. You just think you're watching a romantic
Yes.
comedy. And like to its benefit, it's probably a better thing to think that. Because I think they do really well together. I think they have great chemistry. I think they're very believable. Um Jamie Foxx is a very interesting way of choosing fanboy mental illness. Like, I don't know if he's like, man, I don't know how to phrase this. Um,
Be careful, he may be listening.
no, but like he clearly has something wrong with him, right? And
Right.
he has some sort of illness. He has like a better term, school shooter mentality. Um, where he is very obsessed and very over focused on Spider-Man and being like, "Hey, um looking out for you," or something. "Oh, you're looking for me? Spider-Man's looking for me." And he's like super happy. And he's like, "Hey man, Spider-Man, you remember me or something?" And like he's very obsessed because Spider-Man took his time to say hi. And so this fan is over obsessing because he has some sort of mental illness and just is um focusing on Spider-Man's the best thing in the world. And oh, Spider-Man isn't being my friend anymore. He's scared of me. He didn't save me. That means Spider-Man's bad. Everyone's bad. I'm going to this and that. That's what I mean by school shooter mentality. Like
Yeah.
it's just a very much flip of the coin of one little thing can mess up this guy's perspective of life, and he um is now just out for it because his hero is wasn't nice to him and he didn't remember him, and the hero was fake to him, and like yeah he kind of was, but like it's also not his fault. I don't know, there's a lot of things to it, so I would say he's kind of tragic in that sense, just because it's like what if yeah a nerdy mentally ill person got powers and is now revengeful because Spider-Man doesn't know who he is, even though he was like, oh, Spider-Man's my friend, because he was like telling people, he's like, oh yeah, Spider-Man's my friend, we hang out, we talk to each other, and so there's things with that, so like I think it's good and bad. I think it's portrayed well and bad at the same time, um but I mean, we'll talk about it here in a second with No Way Home or whatever, but when he shows up over there, completely different person, completely different actor. He's very like focused. He's just Jamie Foxx being Electro. He's not nerdy person from this movie. Um Harry Osborn sucks. He's awful. I hate him. Um and so with
Uh,
that, that makes Gwen's death kind of not super great either, just because Harry sucks. um do really like the cinematography of that scene though, where he shoots the web shooter and it goes down all down the the chimney or whatever. It's going down and it reaches out. It looks like a hand trying to reach Emma Stone. It grabs her, but then it's a little like it's still a little too far, and it grabs her though. Like he does get it, but then it snaps or gets her. She hits the ground really quickly and then comes right back up. So like he barely missed her. And so like she
yeah.
like gets whiplash, like she dies from impact right there, but he still caught her.
I mean,
um
I think now I will say I agree with you on there, but in the last Spider-Man film we're going to talk about today, when MJ falls and he catches her, that whole scene between the two of them had so much more meaning. Um,
it doesn't, it doesn't. And we'll
it
get,
does.
we'll get to that.
We'll get there.
We'll
Yeah.
get to that when we get to there. I do want to say really quick though, I like the ending of this movie a lot. I like everything after this scene. I like seeing Peter grieve. I like seeing Peter being in a bad mental state. But then I really
Yeah.
like seeing Peter protecting that kid who is dressed up as Spider-Man fighting the Rhino, because then he starts doing quips again and he's very this is the first time where I believe that Spider-Man is Spider-Man in these two films. And I would have loved to see a third movie because now he is there. He is going to be a
Yeah.
good Spider-Man. He's gone through all the grief and everything. Um and so like I would have loved to see more. I
Is interesting.
I think this movie's a low B. I think this is a low B. I don't think this
I
movie's
agree
a
with you.
C. I think because
I
of all the good things about this film that are in here. Yes, there are bad things about it, but there are enough good things sprinkled in to where I don't think this deserves a C.
Now is this after Spider-Man 3?
This is after Spider-Man 3.
I'll give you that. Um, so as we move on, um, so let's move on to Spider-Man Homecoming. If I and get me correct me if I'm wrong, this does take place after Civil War.
Correct.
And so he's getting back. Obviously, he's friends with Tony Stark. he's coming back and he's, you know, um, he's Spider-Man. I love this because we jump right into Spider-Man being Spider-Man. We don't do the, oh, hey, Uncle Ben died. We don't talk about, we briefly talk about it, but we don't go into the whole story. It doesn't show him get like the whole long series of going and getting bit
Uh-huh.
and all that stuff there. Um, I like this one. Here's what I really like about this. We do the Vulture,
Yep.
who has been an arch nemesis of Spider-Man from early comics. And who do they get to play? They
Yeah.
got freaking Batman,
Yep.
Michael Keaton.
Yep.
Holy crap. Um, and he does such a good job
I think so.
as this. And I know he doesn't get a lot of like, okay, let's not talk about the Morpheus end credit where he shows up. Okay, we're not gonna talk about that. Okay. Um,
Yeah, he's
but let's
gone
talk about
now. He's stuck in that
oh yeah,
universe. We'll never see him again.
no. But like he does such a good job as but it makes the vulture look like not just a bad guy, but human. Obviously, Peter's been talking to his daughter,
Mm.
all that good stuff, right? But the other thing is Tony Stark gives him a suit, gives him a new suit, um, and all that. I think the fight between him and Tony also kind of goes into, um, I think, kind of bunches in with Tony dealing with Tony, um, as well. So it's not just that. It's like it's him dealing with him like, hey, I'm Spider-Man now. I got to do all this stuff. I thought with the Avengers, man,
Yeah.
uh, to dealing with that, to also dealing with the fact of, you know, being a teenager
Mm-hmm.
and just, and then like I think the thing that's hard to watch is when him and Tony fight
Mm-hmm.
because he looks at Tony as like a father figure. Later, it's Happy
Yeah.
that he looks at, but him and Tony are thick as thieves, and I think that relationship grows, and Tony being mad at him and like turning the suit off, and stuff. But I think this is the first time with Tom Holland, and I think, obviously we got a taste of Tom Holland from Civil War, which by the way, love him in Civil War.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the little quips that you talk about when he's like, "Hey, did you guys ever see that movie? It's like the Star Wars movie with the giant walking things." And Brody's like, "How old is this kid?"
Yeah.
Um, when Ant Man grows big. And also for Spider Man, that's a big thing, knowing that, holy crap, we're going to go after Captain America and just goes blind
Yeah.
to fight Captain America. Um, the scene my kids love is when he's fighting Winter Soldier and he grabs his arm
Mm-hmm.
and he's pulling it back like, oh, you have a mechanical arm.
Yeah.
Um, I always joke with my oldest kids are joking. I'm like, that shows how strong Spider Man is. He just did that one handed.
Mm-hmm.
As where if you remember, Captain America was having a hard time with that.
Yeah.
Um, nope, here's Spider Man one handed making
Yep.
jokes. But I think this one is like a really good setup for what we've had here. Um, Obviously, once we get into Far Away from Home, I have my thoughts. Before you give your thoughts, I do want to say I feel like this is an A level film. I think my thoughts are: is it? And you're smiling, so I know that's not what you think. Um, if it's not after Spider-Man 2, it's got to be a really high B. But I want to hear your thoughts.
Too much Iron Man is my biggest complaint with this film. Um, this film relies too much on him. This is a
I can see
Spider-Man
that.
film. This is not an Iron Man and Spider-Man thing. Whereas like it feels like a 90s cartoon, but it feels more that's why I like again, we're gonna get to No Way Home years later, but like there's more dynamic with him learning from Strange and stuff in other mediums. Whereas like I'm not a huge fan of this dynamic between him and Parker and Stark and all that. Because Stark is essentially Osborn because they don't have Osborn. Like
Yeah, I can
Norman
see
is
that.
very much, the rich guy who sees potential in Peter and wants to give him the world. And they don't have that because they can't have that. And so instead they do this instead. And there's good and bad to that. I really like Adrian Toomes. I love the Vulture in this. That's a really good reveal. Um, where you find out like Liz Allen's like father is Toomes, because I mean they don't have the same last name. Um,
Yeah.
there's that really really good scene when they are driving in the car, and Toomes is driving Peter and Liz to prom, and there's a red light on, like they're like waiting at a red light, and he asks him like a question. I don't know if it's about like cuts or bruises or something. He's like, well, where'd you get those? Oh, something something. The green light goes, and you see on Vulture's face like, oh man, that's Spider-Man. Like he puts two and two together when the green light goes. That's very great cinematography. um
Oh God, yes.
there's so many good things about this film for that. um this film, I don't like that there's weird stuff here. This is a problem with me. I'm nitpicking, I feel, to a degree, but I feel like it needs to be said because other people say this too, and I agree with it. um Ned Leeds in other mediums is Hobgoblin, so I don't know if that's ever going to come to be anything. I don't think so, but who knows. But um Ned Leeds is very much Genki from Miles Morales. He is a young friend who's helping, being the guy in the chair, um, helping with his friend, his Spider-Man. And and so because this is a younger, I guess not really a younger take on Spider-Man, but a different take on Spider-Man enough, they really seem to be borrowing elements and borrowing things more from a Miles story, and like taking those things because those things just work in a high school setting or just work as like an origin. Um and so it's good and bad to a degree, but um I like all the characters. I like Zendaya. I hate that she's not Mary Jane Watson. Um there's just weird just
Yeah.
things that just don't make sense just to be different. And I hate when movies just are like, "Oh, I'm just different." Like there's no reason to be different. Just be the thing.
Yeah.
Um I hmm
I Before you get that last thought, I want to say real quick, I like this Flash out of all of them. I love this Flash Thompson
yeah.
because he's a bully, but he's not like some giant muscle bound guy. He's just a jerk.
Yeah, that's true because in this one it's a gifted school, right? Is he going to a gifted school? Wait, no, he's not. He's just a preppy jerk. Yeah, which is different than being a jock and everything else. Um but I say I don't know cuz now I'm thinking like where should I put this because I don't know where to put other things. Um sure. Because this is going to be hard to do. And I have plans for the future. Um, I think this is a low A. I think Spider-Man 2 is a better film. I think Spider-Man 2 is a better standalone film. I think that these three movies that we're going to talk about here do not stand alone, and that is their fault, or that is a fault of them because they
I
are
will,
cinematically challenged.
yeah, I will agree with you there. Um, and I think that's a fair play. I will accept that placing there. But let's not forget that JB Smooth is in this as well.
Yeah,
And every time I see of him, I think of that show with Larry David because he's on that show.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Curb Your Enthusiasm. When he shows up in that show, that oh my gosh, it's so funny, and he's just funny anyway.
Wait, JB
Um,
Smooth is in this?
yeah, he's like the principal.
Oh
Or wait,
yeah.
no. I think he's. I don't know if he's in this one. I know he's in Far From Home. I know he's in Far From
Are
Home.
you thinking of a Hannibal? Hannibal's the Hannibal's in it as the gym teacher in all three films.
I know that JB Smooth is in the second one,
Okay. I
only
don't
because I'm
remember
looking at
JB
it.
Smooth in this. I'm trying to think of like other people who are like in the academic, like in the high school, and all I can think of is
Yeah.
just Hannibal. I can't think of anyone else.
See, now I gotta look. I don't
I thought the
see him on here.
principal I thought the principal was a woman because she catches Ned in the computer lab with the lights off, being the man in a chair.
Okay, I know that in the second one, um, in Far From Home,
Mm-hmm.
he's in there. He's like because he's on the trip with them. Um,
Mm,
so I guess so. Yes, I will accept that, even though JB Smooth is not in there. Um, yeah, I'm looking now at IMDb. He's not in there, but he is in the second, and I want to say he's in the third film briefly. I think he's in the yeah. I think he's briefly in the third one. Um, but let's move from that to Far From Home.
mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, this one's kind of a train wreck for me, and here's why.
Same.
I felt like it was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't watching the '90s cartoon and watching just the different cartoons of Spider-Man over the years. I think they didn't get Mysterio right, and you could correct me if I'm wrong on that. Um, and I thought it was weird. Obviously, Mysterio is Mysterio. He has like a bunch of stuff that's going on and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
it was cool to see Mysterio in like the old school costume, right?
Yeah.
Um, I just didn't like all that. I felt like it was like I'm gonna get so much hate for this. I feel like it was an episode of Saved by the Bell when they go to Hawaii. Um, I mean, that's what it felt like. Is like, oh crap, there's this, and Ned knows now that who Spider Man is, and um, and Zendaya finds out who Spider Man is, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just
And
like a lot.
Night
I mean,
Monkey,
yeah, I think it's cool that Samuel L. Jackson's in this one as Nick Fury, and is like, hey, we need to talk.
Nick
Um,
Fury.
yeah, for like what, like 5 minutes?
No, he's not even Nick Fury. He's a scroll.
Yeah. So like, I get it. I get it. I just didn't really like this one. It's not my as my 8-year-old would say when he's talking about like something he's eating is it's not my favorite. Um,
Yeah.
I just had a lot of problems with it. The pacing of the film I felt was kind of not there. I felt like there wasn't a lot of action. The only and there's some like redeeming graces, like when he calls Happy and Happy shows up in the jet,
Mm-hmm.
and this does take place after Tony Stark dies, if I'm correct.
Yep.
This is after
Because everyone
Endgame.
gets blipped and re-blipped.
He's dealing with Spider-Man's dealing with the loss of Tony Stark and the loss of other people that died. Um, Mostly Tony Stark. Um, so there's a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm.
And he does this trip, but like I just I really didn't like this one as much as the others. Do I think this is a D? No.
No.
Do I think it's like a C? Maybe. I just didn't really like this one a lot. And like if I'm going back, so far all the ones we talked about, I would watch again. I don't think I'd watch this one again. I mean, what are your thoughts?
This one also has an issue where there's too much Tony Stark, even though Tony Stark isn't in this film at all. These films, at least these first two, are really trying to make him a prodigy, a successor of Tony.
Yes.
And he shouldn't be that, in my opinion. like the glasses and having the the AI um talk to him and all that. But I think Mysterio is interesting, where he's just a disgruntled employee and he just does all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I think the traveling around is stupid. Like I don't know, I don't know why we're just not in New York still. Like I guess that's my thing. Is it just different set pieces, or you wanted to have I don't know, more of a chance of like having these different types of monsters around, so you wanted a different environment for that. Having excuse for that. Um them dealing with variants and stuff, saying that, oh, I'm from a different universe, and just like BSing that and just somehow making everyone believe that, because yeah, there were different universes, but not everyone knew about that either. So it's weird that he can just lie and it just works.
Yeah.
Like you think that, I don't know, you think that Sword or Shield or whoever um is who was there at the time, um they'd have some sort of lie detection to figure out that he's lying. Um it just seems really weird to trust him, just be like, oh yeah, we've seen all this stuff, yeah, of course he's from a thing. That's a little too trustworthy, but also that
Yeah.
isn't Fury. That is a scroll. So maybe that's why he's more trustworthy and that's why he acts different. Same thing with what's her face? Kobe Smulders. Like she's also a scroll in this too, if I remember correctly. So like both of them just act really weird in this film, and I don't like that.
A-
Um
and again, I think it's just the pacing is kind of off with this one. Um, and I get it. He's going through a loss. Um,
yeah.
you know. Um, Now here's my question. I told you where I would rank this one. Where would you rank this one? That's the question of the day, right there.
Um See, it's another one of those that relies too heavily on other things, so it doesn't work by itself super well. Um, because this one especially, like, yeah, you can kind of figure things out in the first film, but this second one's like, oh, you gotta know that Infinity War happened. You gotta know something, the snap happened, the blip. You gotta understand all these things happen. 7 years or something had passed for all these people, so that's why when Flash is trying to get alcohol, they're like, oh, he's actually younger because he got blipped, because his like ID says he's 21 or something. Um, there's I just don't know. Um, this film isn't my favorite. It is probably one of the least watchable things here. I don't think anything should be a C even.
Okay.
Um, I think for as much as I said, hmm,
I feel like you want to put it at a B. You're
yeah,
just deciding, is it greater than um oh my gosh, than some of the other ones there?
hmm,
Obviously, my thought would be, now that we've kind of talked about it and me thinking about it, why don't we put it after Amazing Spider-Man 2? I feel like it's in that realm. Or maybe before it. I don't know. It'd be a B.
see,
It'd
I
be a
was
low B.
thinking because it's a forgettable film, but it's a passable film. Whereas, like, I think it needs to be the second entry in B. I think it is better than Spider Man 3. I think Spider Man 3 is a jumbled mess. I think there's a lot of good things about that film, but it's very messy. And the same thing is with Amazing Spider Man 2. I think there are good things in that film that doesn't make it a C, but it's very messy. Whereas Far From Home isn't very memorable. It's kind of forgettable, but at the same time, it is solid for the most part. And the ending is very good, I would say. Um,
I'll give you that.
and there are
I
some fun moments in it. But
I do
yeah,
agree. I'll agree with you on that. I think it is better than 3. So let's put it there. I feel like this last one though, we're gonna have problems. We're not gonna agree. Because here's my thought. No Way Home is my favorite. Um, and the reason being is there's so many little things. Obviously, this is an expensive film because you brought back William Defoe, you brought back Doc Ock, you brought back
Jamie
all these
Foxx.
people. Yeah, all these villains were brought back. Um, the only thing that I found now, obviously, by the second end of the second one, Mysterio sends a video out and says, "Hey, Spider-Man is Peter Parker."
Hmm.
Right? Makes it look like he killed him with for no reason.
Yeah, deep fake.
Yeah, and so there, I like this one because as we start, obviously, no one likes Spider-Man. Peter Parker is, people were mad at him. Um, Either they're trying to be his best friend and taking pictures in school and stuff like that. Um, the things that are really hilarious. Number one, Matt Murdock is their lawyer.
Yep.
Which, by the way, as
Catches
we're
the
recording
brick.
this,
I love him
yeah,
catching the brick. Oh, I'm a very good lawyer.
yeah, I still need to watch the last 2 seasons of Daredevil.
I've never seen
Um,
Daredevil. I don't have Disney Plus anymore. I am
do
out.
you have, do you have Hulu?
I do have Hulu.
It's on Hulu, I think.
Really? Hmm. I've
But
never even
anyway,
seen the regular Daredevil like that was on Netflix.
oh, it was really good on Netflix.
Uh,
Very dark.
yeah.
But I think this movie has just like a lot of big things as Doctor Strange and Wong.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the only parts that really annoy me is when like Doctor Strange is like, "Hey, I'll do this for you, no worries," and then Peter kept changing it. Well, wait, what about this? What about this? What about that? And that's just Peter in general, right?
Yeah.
And that's how it all gets screwed up. But like him and Strange obviously has some issues.
Mm-hmm.
Strange like, look, we got to put this back. And the whole fight scene between him and Strange in the different universe where it gets all crazy, I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my overall favorite parts is where Ned has the ring and he's like Peter Parker, and then like Amazing Spider-Man Andrew Garfield shows up.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Throwing the bread.
and she
Though
goes,
you have the
"Walk on."
tingle. I do have the tingle, just not for bread.
I love when she's like, "Walk on the wall."
my,
And
my abuela
now,
says the clean the cobweb.
um, and granted, I don't. There's lots of scenes, obviously, like with Ned's grandma of like, "Oh, hey, that was the little girl that Peter Parker saved or whatever." I don't know about that, but
No,
I
no,
feel
that's
like,
such a reach that I never understood.
yeah, I don't understand that one either. But when you have all three there, how cool is it in my mind to see you have the original OG with the next one after that, and then the newest one all together.
Uh-huh.
I think you talk about the first one with like Tony Stark, Tony Stark. There's no Tony Stark in this one.
No.
Um, Happy's in this one, but I think where this one really sets afar is like they're trying to cure these evil people, right? Because he's like, I don't want Doctor Strange to kill you guys or send you guys back where you guys die. Let's cure you first and go from there. The fact that William Defoe was playing Peter the whole time is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love how he cures Doc Ock, and then he's like, I can't notice of it. He just flips a switch, and William Defoe goes right into him.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I didn't know is he said he would only do this film if they let him do his own fight scenes.
Yeah.
How old is William Defoe?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I love that. I love this here. When I said that I had one that was my S tier, and I know you're not going to agree with me, I feel like this is an S tier movie. And so we've moved away from everything else. You take two other Spider-Man, which this, in my mind, discovered who's the strongest Spider-Man. We know now. Obviously, it's Tobey Maguire's. Um, but like
Is
it's
it?
so cool.
Is it though? He's just the
I feel
oldest.
I feel like that scene where um Tom Holland's gonna
Yeah.
kill the one character, and Tobey Maguire stops him and holds it, and he until he gets stabbed in the side by
Yeah.
Goblin, he's holding him off.
Yeah.
As where Tom Holland's like struggling,
Yeah.
um, he's just like holding it, like, dude, don't do this. I've been there. Don't do it. But I like how they got the original actors
Hmm.
to do this. I love that Doctor Strange is in there. I just watched last year the second Doctor Strange movie. I think people that haven't watched it are really missing out. I really did like it.
Yeah. That
I
movie's good.
think Doctor I think Doctor Strange is that character people are like, eh. I
Hmm.
think he has an interesting thing. Is he as good as Wong? No, because Wong's funny.
Yeah.
Um, uh, but like I do like this one. I think this one's not above the original Spider-Man, but I do think it's a second S tier behind it. Now, I'm looking at you right now, and I know what you're thinking. You're like, Ben, we're not going to agree on this because this is not where it is. So tell me why this is not an S tier. It's what we should be saying in your deep
Hmm.
thoughts.
Movie's very good. This movie relies on too many things. I think relying on too many things is a blessing and a curse. I think it takes all the best aspects of all the Spider-Men and puts them together. This movie feels like an episode of the cartoon come to life where it's just like, hey,
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, let's hang out. Oh, can you do this thing for me? Cool. Oh no, something bad happened. And it's like a three-parter or something, you know, like it feels like a part of a series of a TV show. Um I for the most part I enjoy you didn't need Lizard, you didn't need Electro, you didn't need Sandman. You just needed two of these guys. But
Yeah.
there are because there are three of them, you have to have at least three of them. But like, yeah, why is Lizard and Electro here? That doesn't make any sense to me. You don't need them both here.
Right.
Um, why are Spider-Man why are all three um Tobey Maguire villains here minus Venom um and like New Goblin or whatever? Like why are they here? Why isn't it just Green Goblin? You know, like I like Alpha Merlina. I think he does a really, really good job here. But there's too many characters, and that might be a fault of it. Um, like it just feels like a super like a special edition where it's like, oh, here's the big edition of a comic book where like, oh, here's this huge crossover. Again, that's why it kind of feels like a cartoon or something. Um, I do enjoy that this is the first time where Peter has to think on his own. He doesn't have to, he isn't relying on Tony. He isn't really even relying on Happy a whole lot. Like he
Yeah.
kind of does, like he uses his apartment and that's kind of it. Um, to use the fabricator and do certain things. Um, he experiences grief again, and I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like the I feel like the impact of Tony was a huge thing, and we had a movie about it and all of that. But then we had, you know, I guess spoilers again for this film. We had Aunt May die, and he gets super crazy mad about that, and that's why he wants to kill Goblin. Um, and so like he's very enraged. I feel like it. I don't think it's lazy. I think it's just it's unfortunate that there's just two movies in a row where it's like you killed one of my parental figures. Now I'm mad. Um
Yeah.
so like I we didn't need to do this again, but at the same time, the end of this movie, this is another Amazing Spider-Man 2 situation where at the end of this movie when he's like swinging around in like his homemade like silk suit looks so nice and so good. He's acting like real Spider-Man. He doesn't have any money, he doesn't have anything to his name, he's a nobody. He might start photography, maybe we'll see a Jameson. um I mean, a Jameson like because they, yeah, that's another thing with problem with these movies. It's cool that we have Jameson because like he's Infowars Alex Jones type Jameson, but um because he's different, I don't know who's he gonna work for then, because like
Yeah.
is he gonna work for the planet, like did the not the planet the Bugle, because um I feel like I I don't think he I guess he could because no one knows who he is anymore. So like yeah, I guess he could now because the Bugle's big enough now because Betty Brant was an intern in uh the marketing for this movie. I want to say like she was like, "Oh, I'm interning for the Bugle. Here's this news story." And she was like an anchor or something like that. So yeah, maybe he can work for the Bugle. Um I like that all these Spider-Men are the best ways that they can be. Like these are the best versions of them, for
Yeah.
better or for worse. I don't know when they're being grabbed though, because this Andrew Garfield feels like he was grabbed before the Rhino scene, and after having the Rhino, and after doing this and then being blipped back into his universe, he is way more excited and happy, and that's why he is Spider-Man in that scene. um Toby's just after Spider-Man 3, like because all of his villains are here. um I don't know. um yeah, so I that's kind of what I feel with that. And then same thing with like Willem Dafoe and stuff like that, where like he's clearly he has to be grabbed before he died. So where is he from? I don't know. People like to speculate where it's right when he's being about to be pinned by that glider, like that's when he gets blipped in, and that's why he goes, "Oh, this is where I'm at." But he's really good in this film. Everyone's very good in this film. I am just trying to dance around the fact that I don't want to put this at an S. Um, I
Where do you want to put it?
I don't know. Like,
What
I
about
think this film's
what
really
about
good. This is the first. I think we kind of ruined stuff already, but I feel like this is the first like Spider-Man 1 is Tobey Maguire
right?
Spider-Man. Amazing Spider-Man 1 is Andrew Garfield Spider-Man at its finest. This movie, Far From Home, is Tom Holland's best Spider-Man because this is the first time he's really had to be Spider-Man. So I I don't know. Like I'm dancing around the fact where I feel like this is a better film than this is better than Homecoming. I definitely think this is better than Homecoming. I don't know if this is better than Spider-Man 2. Because on a rewatch of this film, um a lot of the things for this movie is the spectacle of, oh, what, they're in this movie, oh, what, this thing's in this movie, this is cool, this is awesome. On rewatches it's just like, oh yeah, this just happens. Whereas like for these other films, Like there is a start and a finish to these films. They are perfect no matter what. There are no necessary
Right.
surprises. They are just being a film and being a good film.
What if we put it after Spider-Man 2, before No Way Home or
Yeah,
Homecoming?
that's what I was saying.
Yeah. I think that's a good spot for it. With the new one coming out, it'd be interesting to see what happens. You had me at Frank Castle in the new trailer. I'm sorry. I love that Punisher. He does an awesome job as that Punisher, and the fact that he's in it, yeah, because he really doesn't have anybody in the new one because no one remembers who he is. So,
Yeah,
um,
I think that movie, if it plays its cards right, that could be a high A or S tier.
yeah, and I feel like that's why I wanted to do this with the new movie coming, in a couple months. I wanted to kind of rank these ones here. So let's go through the list. So
Mhm.
S tier, we have the OG Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire. On the A rank, we have Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire. Then we have um, No Way Home and Homecoming. The B tier, we have Amazing Spider-Man. We have Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man 3 with Tobey Maguire, and last but not least, Andrew Garfield with The Amazing Spider-Man 2 in the B rank. No C's, no D's.
Yeah.
So I
It could
didn't
have
need
been
an
more
S tier in there.
harsh, but
Yeah.
thinking into it, I think all of these have good enough features to them. If anything, I feel like if we really wanted to do it, we could put Spider-Man 3 and Amazing Spider-Man 2 in C if we really wanted to. But I feel like that is the cutoff if we wanted to move stuff down. Um, but
I think
I'm not upset with this.
And I think that when we were talking, the more we talked, the more you kind of made sense with a lot of it. And that's what happens with these rankings. So there you
I'm
have
looking
it.
at the time. I was like, man, remember this is gonna be 40 minutes. This is an hour and
It's never,
22.
yeah. But I think we did a good ranking here.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you think, or if there is a movie, game, anime that you think we should rank. Let us know in the comments there. Always, this is a bi-weekly podcast. We post this every other week on Wednesdays with the video coming on Fridays on YouTube. If you're a first-time listener, thank you. We appreciate everybody that comes in, listens, or watches the videos. Do us a favor, hit that follow button on Spotify or wherever you get your audio podcast. Follow so you don't miss an episode, but also go to our YouTube, hit that subscribe, watch the videos, watch the couple shorts we have.
Yeah.
It's great. We're on Blue Sky, we're on Facebook. We got a lot of good stuff coming this year, and this is kind of the start of it. Do you have anything else to add, Alex?
Not much. Man, time really flew by. Um I didn't realize how long this was.
That's good though. That's good.
Yeah, it's me just rambling on about every movie for 30 minutes, but nothing else except get at it.
Get at it.